So before reading the essay, let's talk about what does sharing tradition means. Sharing tradition means what? Sharing our cultures, our rituals from one person to next person, from one generation to next generations. In this classroom, there are students from different social background, different cultural backgrounds. Some are from Tarai, some are from hilly regions. So you are from different districts, different states, and your social background, cultural background, religious background, your class background may be different, isn't it? And when we share about them each other, we understand each other. If you share about your culture, your language, your festivals, your music to your friends, friends will understand you, and vice versa. And if your friends share about them, you understand your friends. So sharing is very important if we want to preserve the culture. Sharing culture, sharing tradition, sharing language, sharing lifestyles, that's important for us. That help us understand ourselves. So we have 3 questions here. Look at 3 questions here. The first question says, do you share your cultural tradition with your friends? Yes. If not share, you have to share. Tarai is very rich in culture, you know that. They have so many festivals, so many rituals, customs, languages. In Nepal, among all Nepalese, Tarai has got more cultural heritages. They are richer in culture. So if we learn from them, we can understand more about the culture from them. Okay. So we have to share about culture. So number B, did your parents tell you stories when you were a child? If yes, did they have anything to do with your cultures or values? When I was young, my parents used to tell me stories. At the time, there was no mobile phone when I was young, no television. We had radio only. We used to listen to the stories from radio, from morning to evening. There were lots of programs. Some of the programs were so popular. We used to listen to the radio, and we used to make what a visual ourselves, video ourselves. We used to imagine the characters, plot, setting, place, time, rising action, falling action, climax, everything we used to make in our mind. See how creative that story made us. We become more creative by listening to the story than what by watching videos, by playing video games and so on. But today's kids, you know that, they are busy on playing video games, watching YouTube videos, shorts, okay, and so on. That's why we are supposed to listen to the stories told by our grandparents, parents. Let's listen to them. Though we are the generations of modern age, modern time, let's listen to our grandparents. Let's respect them. Let's pay attention towards them. Let's get some ideas about the past, about our culture, about our language, about our every culture we might not have studied in the course book. Only by coming to college, by joining the class, you are not going to learn the culture. For cultures, we need to learn from whom? Our elders, seniors, ancestors. They have maintained a legacy of the culture, of the tradition, and we are supposed to follow that, maintain that. Should we preserve our cultural values and traditions? Why? Yes, we have to preserve. Cultures are our identity. Those who forget their ground, they will never progress. Those who forget their root, their past, their ancestors, their land, their soil, they cannot have their prosperous future. Or though they have riches, though they have property, money, only money is not the matter of success. Those who preserve culture, language, isn't it? They are prosperous, they are happy. So let's preserve our culture. We should preserve our culture. Let's respect each other. The writer meant to tell that. The essay begins like this. I'm not going through line by line. Look at the whiteboard. You just write down some keywords that you find in the copy. Make a note on the keywords. So Frank Lapena is the writer. He was born in California, San Francisco city of California in 1937. He died at the age of 81 in 2019. And this essay is about how we can preserve our tradition through oral tradition. Sharing tradition is an essay which is about oral tradition. There are two kinds of traditions in the world. One is oral, next one is written. Oral means not written. There are so many traditions which are not in the book. Just on the basis of our grandparents' stories, grandparents' activity, grandparents' practice or parents' practice, we follow that. We preserve that. So it is not possible to write every tradition in the book. Written may be wrong, but oral, if they are wrong, can be modified, can be changed, errors can be omitted. So what is the essay about? This essay is about oral tradition, and which help us transfer our culture and values from one generation to next generations. Now tell me, what is the value of oral tradition? Oral tradition help us transfer our culture from past to present, present to future, one generation to next generation. For example, what our grandparents did, our parents follow. What our parents are following, we have to follow. If we don't follow, there will be the gap. For example, if your generation don't follow what parents are doing, your next generation will not be following anything else. They will forget past totally. And that is happening in this country, in this world, okay? People are ignoring their past. They are discarding what their parents, ancestors said. They are just giving value for the modern or modern things only. So, that's why Lapena says that we must hear the tales of our elders. This is the key line. Hear the tales of the elders. Never ignore our elders. Listen to them. They tell the story. Their stories may be boring, may not be as interesting as our YouTube videos, but also listen to them. Try to visualize that tales. Try to visualize the story told by them. Try to understand them, because they are really important. Because they carry our cultural values. They carry our lifestyles. They carry our past, our reality. YouTube videos may not carry our reality. Our real life is not our Western life, okay? We are Eastern people, we are Nepalese people. Let's follow our culture, our tradition. Wearing what torn jeans pant, singing what rap song, you're my love, you're my love. Singing like that, you are not going to be modern, okay? Singing folk songs, listening to folk music, wearing traditional costumes, cultural costume, Gunyo Choli, Daura Sural, whatever costume you have, wearing that, you are going to be modern. Modern people are those who have modern thoughts. Singing rap song, being Jap and singing rap. They are not going to be modern. Okay? They are rather barbarian. They are pahe. They are barbarian. They are uncivilized. Okay? Real modern are those who follow traditional costumes, who follow traditions, who listen to folk music, folk songs, who listen to their elders, who respect their seniors, who follow the legacy of their parents, grandparents. They are the modern. Modern people are those by thoughts, not by their clothing, okay? Wearing what pants, having big wands. They are not moderns. Okay, so if you want to accomplish all these things, you have to listen to the elders. Next thing, we have to pay attention to our elders. And next thing, Lapena says that we have to give focus. Focus means emphasis. Emphasis on two things. Note this also, historic and cultural values. Let's respect our historic values, our history. Yesterday you had gone to the school, so you have come to the college. Now can we ignore our past? Present is the outcome of the past. Present is the result of the past. There was past, so we are in the present. Here is present, so we will be in the future. That's why let's not ignore our history, our historical values, our cultural values, because they are very crucial. They are very important to make our future prosperous, to make us what? Successful, rich, wealthy, happy. Those people who maintain their historic values and cultural values, only they are prosperous. Otherwise, they will be what? Uncivilized, barbarian, pahe, whatever words you can use, okay? Now, let's come to next. Okay, so Lapena talks about problems. Okay, now write the keywords problem there. What problem he talks about? Is it easy to transfer our culture from one generation to next generations? It's challenging. Today's young generations are very careless. They are too much engrossed with modern electronic gadgets. Even young kids, just born babies also are busy on what? Electronic gadgets, mobile phones, tabs, laptops and so on. They don't have any time, they don't pay attention if you tell the stories, if you sing song for them, if you tell something else. So that's why it has been so challenging. That's why Lapena is so worried. In the name of what? Being modern, we are destroying, damaging our origin, what original we had. That's why he says that it is really what challenging to transfer the cultural values from one generation to next generations. However, he says that we can transfer our values from different methods. Number one is what? Is speech. Our parents can give speech to us. Our grandparents can give speech to us. So if we want to preserve our cultures, we have to go through what is speech. Speech, music. Let's listen to what? Folk music. Our cultural music. But these days, even folk musics have been spoiled. Many new singers are damaging the folk music. They are changing the words, okay, of the music. Vulgarity has been used. If the song is very good, visual will be very bad. Isn't it? Song in one side, visual in another side. And they are damaging image of our folk music. That's wrong. In the name of our business, they are not supposed to kill our originality. Okay, so speech, music, folk tales, chants, poetry, prose, festivals, rituals. These are the techniques, these are the tools, these are the means through which we can preserve our culture. Next point is what? He believes that both older generations and new generations should be equally responsible to preserve our culture. We might be thinking that older people are more responsible. They have to preserve the culture. We are young. We should not preserve our culture. We should not transfer our culture. No, that's wrong. Both older and younger, whether you are young or old, we are both equally responsible for the preservation and transmission of the oral tradition or oral heritage. Who says? Lapena says. We both are responsible. So, now he further cautions us that culture, tradition and knowledge will certainly vanish with the time if it is not handed on. Don't think that our culture will last for many years, okay? What our ancestors did, what our grandfathers, grandmother did, parents have not done that. Parents also have forgotten. And if we ignore what our parents did, then we will forget that. It means one day our culture, our tradition, our language will die out. So that's why Lapena is so worried. One day all the cultures that we have been following from the past will die out. He is so much worried. How to preserve it? So challenging. Young kids are not paying attention towards the elders. They are not paying attention towards our old cultures. He is very much worried. So we have to be very much careful about that. Those who forget the past, they will not get success as well. Their success is not valuable. So now let me move to next. That's why he says that when seniors die away, the young generations is expected to carry out their ideas. Before seniors die, the young generation should follow the legacy, carry out the ideas, cultures, values, rituals, festivals. They should know how to celebrate a festival. These days in Dasai festival in the village, we don't see any ping, okay, pings. When I was young, there were so many pings in the village. Nowadays, no pings are there. Children are busy on playing video games. See, one day, I believe that one day people will forget to put tika also. In place of putting tika on the forehead, they will put tika on the nose. They will be confused putting tika on the nose or on the forehead. I mean to say that one day they will forget that. If they disregard their cultural values, their past, their ancestors, they will forget how to put tika. Nowadays, while putting tika, they are focused on, they are busy on taking photo. and video rather than giving Ashirvad. No Ashirvad. My father reads a full mantra while giving what? While putting Tika in Dasai festival, okay? And other will be taking photo, but he ignores that. But we people, my photo, how my photo is? Let me see once first. How my, take again. Already Tika time over. Hand on the forehead. Take photo. My photo. See, is that our culture? No. Our culture has been Sway. That is a pompous culture. Sway culture, okay? Are you getting it? So, the issue is that when the seniors are still alive, young people don't pay much attention, and when they die, they say, my father had done like that. And imagine, Dasai will be like, in this way we have to celebrate Dasai. Putting Tika at this time. And before putting Tika, we eat. My grandfather, my father, they don't eat what? In Dasai festival until he puts Tika. But we continuously go on eating. And those children are all eating. They are full. Fathers, mother are there, what, hungry, staying hungry up to 1 p.m., 2 p.m. And you kids, from early morning, without taking bath, you receive Tika. Did you take bath this time or not? They didn't take bath, okay? But see the parents, that is also legacy we have to follow, okay? So, there are so many barriers. I told you that. Transferring the oral tradition from one culture to one generation to next generation, while transferring that, we have to face so many barriers. According to Lapena, one of the barriers is what? New technology. I told you, modern gadgets. The young children are busy on what? Modern gadgets. They don't have time to listen to the elders. That's why Lapena criticizes modern technology, new technology. And he also says that our current educational system is also not good. Many educated people are distorting the cultures. They are breaking the culture. They are changing the culture. They are modifying the culture. In the name of what? Blaming the cultures to be bad practice. They are just blaming what? Our cultures to be bad practice. Those so-called educated people, they are distorting our culture, changing our culture, modifying our culture. It means our education system is also not good. So, education system offers a variety of false knowledge rather than what? Real fact. So, reality is one thing and we are given one knowledge. The books that you have read might not be 100% correct. It might be wrong also because the writer might be influenced by one culture. He might not have followed the culture. And we are taught the same thing. In master's degree level, I was taught that Buddha was born in Nepal. In Nepal's course, I was taught Buddha was born in Nepal. Later, that book was banned. When we complained, the book was banned. So that happens here. Okay, so now let's come to the conclusion. In conclusion, Lapena says that there are two kinds of tradition. Oral tradition and literary tradition. What is next one? Literary tradition. Oral tradition and literary tradition. And literary tradition means written tradition. Oral is oral, that is not written, that transferred from generation to generation orally, through cultures, through music, through chants, through prose, through poetry, through what those means, okay, speech. But literary tradition is what? That is written or printed, that goes from one generation to next generation, but in the written form. Oral tradition can be changed if there is wrong, but once that is written in the book, can we change that? Finished. Until all the books are burned down, that cannot be changed. And it is not possible to burn down all the books also. So, all these things have been discussed in the essay. I hope you got what the essay is about. Now I am going to ask you what the essay is about. You have to speak for 2 minutes. Before that, I will give you 2 minutes time to prepare. You sit down and prepare. All of you prepare for the speech.